Welcome to the Moon God Pod. I'm your host, Jason Harrell, aka JwowLax. With me always is LoveOx, and today we have an amazing Aku moon god. His name is Scintow. He hails from Buffalo, and we are going to get into all things fantasy sports, food, and of course, the Aku journey and what brought us all three together today. Just want to put out our disclaimer. Anything that we talk about is not considered financial advice. And as we promote the Aku community as moon gods, I think we represent certainly the most elite group within the Aku community, not just because of our holdings and being our moon god status, but more importantly, our care and love for this community. We want to see it grow. We want to put stories behind all the moon gods that we have, and as we grow, we would appreciate you guys doing the whole like, subscribe, comment. Certainly comment any questions you have so we can ask future moon gods on the podcast, whether it's something that has to deal with Aku, future plans, any kind of speculation. Your involvement helps us grow, and more importantly, helps Aku grow. So without further ado, we welcome Scintow. Scintow, how you doing today, brother?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me. Real quick, just for the record, it is Scintow. And it's all right. A lot of people get it wrong. I've talked to Micah, Summer, a bunch of different people. It is Scintow. Right. But thanks for having me. Yeah, thank you.
So now you have to tell us, what is Scintow? How did you come up with your Discord name?
This is a great story. My father loved Asian women, Asian food. He was in the war, and he actually moved back to Vietnam a couple of years ago. And all my friends would joke growing up, because he dated Asian women and loved them and was married to a Chinese lady for quite some time. So my last name is Scintow. So my buddies would be like, oh, Scintow. And it just stuck with me for the last 20, 30 years. And that's my gamer tag for everything, for PlayStation Network, for Xbox 360, for fantasy sports, for Discord, for everything. It just stuck all these years.
Well, see, we learned something right off the bat. And it's funny because like when you do look at like people's Discord names or there's just, we were talking about it off before we started the show. There's just this mystery sometimes, whether it's the pronunciation, how the name got started, or just who the person is. Like in this NFT space where everyone has a PFP of art as opposed to just like a profile picture like a Facebook or something. We're really kind of peeling back the curtain, not trying to dox people too much, but at the same time, we all have real lives, and that's certainly what this is all about. Now, you're in Buffalo. I am a huge chicken wing fan. Everywhere I go, like, I eat chicken wings. I have my good friend Dan. He was a professional wrestler. Every Monday night we go watch Monday Night Football and get chicken wings. What is Buffalo really the home of the chicken wing?
Oh man, let me tell you something. I think we sell more chicken wings in Buffalo than probably anywhere all over the world. For Super Bowl Sunday, we did about 23,000 pounds of wings from my location alone. So that's just a small example of how many wings we sell in Buffalo.
Wow. And now, is there a specific way in Buffalo? I mean, there's Buffalo wing sauce, like Red Hot. Frank's Red Hot seems to be like kind of the staple in a lot of your run of the mill chicken wing joints. But is there a special Buffalo style that is significant?
I think the most popular is probably half medium and half barbecue from the pit. And it's not a chicken wing unless you're using blue cheese. Let's just put that right out there, because I know the ranch debate is out there, but there's no such thing as ranch in our world.
That's super interesting. I myself, I am not a chicken wing eater because I think any like meat with bone is weird. I know I'm strange in that regards, but there's kind of a fact about me. Scintow, am I saying that correctly?
Scintow, yep.
I'm you caught my attention because you seem to be a man of many disciplines. Like I know you talked about the PlayStation Network and gaming, and then I'm hearing a restaurant. So for the uninitiated, can you kind of break down the hustles and what it is that you do? Because I'm super curious as to kind of all the tentacles that you have your hands into.
Well, I was born and raised in Buffalo, and my family started the Just Pizza Corporation early '90s, right when the Bills were making their run, and I've been there 31 years. We have 12 locations throughout Western New York. I've worked at them all. I still work there. Uh, and I also work for the city of Buffalo. I am a garbage man. I drive a truck. I basically drink coffee and smoke cigars for 4 or 5 hours a day. The good old union job. You know what I mean? That's about all I do. And from there, it's the DFS. I play that every single day like a true DGen. That's never going to change. And a couple other things here and there. The T-shirt and sticker stuff that fizzled in and out. But yeah, for the most part, though, it's the pizza and wing grind. And I work for the city of Buffalo.
When you say DFS and you play every day, that means you must be playing everything. Is there something that you're better at than the other sports?
I'm definitely probably the best at NFL. My most success came in NFL. I've qualified for the World Fantasy Football Championships.
Hey.
Yeah, that was on my bucket list. I probably cried that day. I've been trying for. I've been, you know how it is. You know what I mean? If you're a
I know
DFS
how it
player,
is. Yeah.
I have multiple takedowns in multiple sports. I've taken down golf. I've taken down basketball. I've taken down a PGA tournament, NBA, everything at MLB. I just learned MLB this year. It's a learning curve.
So I've dabbled for quite some time. I've taken down one or two, probably not nearly at the accolades that you do. And I subscribe to the contrarian model, i.e., I need the chalk to fail. Are you more, as you build your lineups, are you more chalk? Are you more contrarian? Like what's your thought process in your builds?
In my single entry or my three max or my cash builds, I'll try to get as much chalk as possible.
Sure.
But when it comes to MME, mass multi entry, and I'm entering 150 lineups in certain tournaments, you're always looking to fade the chalk. That's how you're gaining leverage on the field. You're either going 60 or 70% on a 1 or 2% owned person, or you're taking that 40 or 50% owned person and you're just Xing him right out of your model. You know what I mean? Uh, it works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't work. It is what it is. It's a hustle and a grind. But I do well though. You know what I mean?
That's
So
awesome.
I'm kind of curious. Like, usually we want to talk like we the first thing is kind of like what was the NFT and Aku entry, but what I'm kind of seeing, and I think there's something that resonates with myself and Lovox is like we were uh, like my biggest background was kind of poker. Like poker, online poker, kind of got me into the world, and I think that the online poker community um, it has just they've kind of switched gears. They went from after Black Friday when online poker got shut down, then they fantasy came along, and now they're actually in NFTs as well. So what onboarded you? Like, what as soon as DraftKings came in, was it just like a no brainer and you were there day one? Uh, were you involved in like a lot of rotisserie, like pen to paper type of leagues before?
Yeah, that's basically how I think everybody started was the OG fantasy football league. When I started, you had to score out of the Buffalo newspaper.
Mhm.
That's how long I've been playing fantasy football. You had to go get the Sunday newspaper and the Monday newspaper. You had to wait till all this, it came out and the lines and stuff like that. And then in order order for you to get Monday's score in there, you had to wait for the Tuesday newspaper to get delivered. That's how long I've been playing. It's pretty intriguing. But I came into the NFT platform and Discord through my daily fantasy sports website. That's how I was introduced to NFTs.
So what was the first NFT that you bought?
I believe it was a picture of Bruce Lee as a sketch. I was just learning. A very good friend of ours, another Moon God, Girl Dad. Girl Dad plays for the same fantasy, the DFS fantasy team that I do. And we were into the Top Shot thing, the basketball cards. And Girl Dad, me and him did a couple transactions offline, and he was like, "Hey, why don't you join this Discord?" It was an alpha Discord for Top Shot and stuff. And in other channels was artwork and NFTs and crypto, and that's how I slowly got into it. And he's like, "Hey, why don't you mint this tonight?" And I was like, "Mint this? What is this?" You know what I mean? And it was a Bored Ape. And I minted my Bored Ape for probably about $218. And then he's like, you got to check out this Michael Johnson. He's an MLB player. You got to check out Genesis. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Now I got this ape in my wallet that I spent $200 on. And I'm like, okay, what could go wrong with that? Leave that in my wallet. And I started buying these random weird things. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dabbing puggles, and I'd have to scroll to the bottom. But and then I seen Genesis, and I was like, well, this isn't like nothing I'm buying now. You know what I mean? This is like a totally different ball game here. And that's how I got started. Yeah, daily fantasy sports and Girl Dad. And along the way, I met Variance. Variance is another Moon God. And here we are today.
So you come across Genesis. So you did not mint Genesis when it was released, but how do you decide that like you're going to continue on like the Moon God journey? For us, we interviewed Micah, and I believe I can't remember when we interviewed him, but it was, I don't even know that chapter 2 had been released, and he was kind of explaining like the Moon God and holding all 10 chapters. When we talked to Black Sheep, he was saying how the original idea was that it was going to take like a couple of years to get to Moon God status, and then all of a sudden Micah decided to move up the timeline, so where it only took us 1 year to get to it. So what was that kind of turning point where you kind of became more all in on Aku?
Well, I think the fact that Girl Dad, when I was first starting and I looked through his wallet, and I'm like, wow, this guy has quite a collection, and he had 2 of the Genesis, so I had already missed that boat, but I was able to mint chapter 2, and he was like, I guess if you get all 3 chapters, and we're gonna get a chapter 4 for free. So I was like, wow, okay, So I started looking into it. And I had just started getting into minting heavy. Now I'm buying stuff because now I'm, I'm in it now. Now the FOMO's kicking in. Everything he tells me to buy, I'm going to grab 1 or 2. And I'm learning what I'm doing now. And I'm minting these random things. I don't even know what they are, just because I'm cool now. You know what I mean? So I think MSBQ, is that the artist's name? MBSQ? He is a very popular artist. And
It is. Yes,
the colors, the color things were just coming out. He did the blue was like love, and purple was something else. Well, I had actually minted one of those on the drop, and Girl Dad had a couple of the other ones, and I had a pretty low mint number. It was like number 6, I think, and I wind up trading him that one for Genesis. And I had already grabbed chapter 2, and then chapter 3 was next. So, we always talked every day about not missing the drop, kind of collab together to make sure that, our little crew of people that were going to stick with it, and eventually, obviously here we are today.
So when you get, I guess what I'm looking for is like, when did you really start becoming involved in the community specifically? Because I remember in the early days, of the Discord in those first kind of chapters, it was, it was a cool place to hang out. We weren't really sure kind of what it was interesting because we weren't really there, I think, in terms of like some of the other NFT groups or projects. You go to Aku and it was really based on the story, the meaning behind the art, just Aku's story in general. And so it's kind of like this, almost like a breath of fresh air in the sense that the community was really just kind of there, like uh, almost like a coffee shop as opposed to like a board meeting, where we're trying to find more information.
Yeah. I mean, when I joined, it was I mean, maybe one or two people spoke a day.
Yeah.
There was very few channels, and I think Marathon Mamba verified me. I was totally new to Discord. He was like, "No, you got to get in there, and you got to give them your wallet address, and they'll verify you, and then you'll be, level 1, whatever it was." I've been through so many levels now, that I can't remember what level 1 is. Obviously, that we're Moog gods. I'd have to check my my profile, but there wasn't that many people in there, and I was mostly in like alpha discords. You know what I mean? And watching sports and this and Zed Racing. Zed Racing was where I was really enthralled in. You know what I mean? I wanted a Zed horse so bad. They were so expensive, and everything else was just. But I remember we voted on a Aku's new friend, and I think like right after chapter 2 dropped, or right around that time is when people started, hey, Micah, his artwork. And I'm like, man, I'll tell you what, I don't know anything about anything else, but chapter 1 is absolutely unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was like artwork that I've never seen before. And I'm like, wow, this is digital NFTs. And then from there, it just started growing, and more people were jumping in, and we were hanging out, and the artwork and and what he was talking about, and the movement and everything. And I was like, man, this is actually unbelievable. And then chapter 3 dropped, and we were on talking and on Twitter Spaces and reaching out to more people, and more people started coming in, and that, you know what I mean. And then we voted on something else. If it was a girl, maybe. I think that was the next vote, and then it just all transpired from there.
Yeah, you were able to go, and you and Glitch did a panel at Miami last year. I want to know kind of like what that experience was like when you got asked to do that, but also we've got Miami coming up this year. So where's your expectation level for Miami Part 2?
Oh man, I mean, from the sounds of Twitter Spaces, it's supposed to be bigger and better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how could you top last year? I mean, obviously, I met both of yous. I've actually met both of yous on 3 different occasions, not just in Miami. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the whole community panel started off with the sticker man concept. Everybody called me the sticker man, and I was sending them all over the world, the stickers and stuff like that. And I had really talked to a lot of members, and I made a lot of friendships with people, and stickers were all over the world, and we were posting screenshots and this and that. But I mean, as far as what I expect this year, man, I mean, I don't know, bigger performers than AJ, maybe. It's hard to top what we did last year, I'll tell you. I mean, even if I wasn't on a panel, just the whole weekend was amazing, and the memories and the time that I shared with some people out there, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Scintow, a new segment that I'd like to introduce is in terms of NFTs, what's been your biggest failure to date? Like, I know we all have different war stories, as hey, I've got this great story, but what is like something that to this day is the one thing that kind of sticks in your mind? You're like, man, why did I do that?
Definitely paper handing my ape for 7 ETH.
Oh wow!
And not only did I mint my ape for $218 and sold it for 7 ETH, I also had a dog and a mutant ape too.
Oh wow.
And I was like, you know, oh, it's all right. I'll be able to get another one. The NFT business is booming, and I sold mine for 7 ETH. I was probably 40 days too late because I just woke up one day and it was like 20 ETH, and then 40 ETH, and then 80 ETH, and it was over from there. You know what I mean?
For someone that was in that ecosystem, what was kind of going on? Like I'm really, we talk about this all the time. Like there's timing is huge in the NFT space. Like maybe, you know, if you play the what if game, like maybe if the Akutars had come out like around the same time as Bored Apes, you know, had come out, like, you know, would the Akutars like be really like right up there with, you know, because obviously in my opinion the art is superior to almost every other PFP out there. You know, it's definitely 1%. So when you were in that ecosystem of the Bored Apes, like were there things that they were doing that you don't see maybe Aku doing?
I mean, it's funny because, you know, I didn't really hang out in that Discord a lot because it was constantly floor talk, floor talk, floor talk, floor talk. You know what I mean? And that kind of wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, a lot of their success, I do believe, came from their strength in community, and they had billboards up, and they were meeting every week somewhere and every month somewhere, and they were doing different things with their apes, and they were putting them on different things. And you know, one or two people knew a celebrity, and as soon as a celebrity grabbed one or two, then another celebrity grabbed one or two, and next thing you know, every celebrity has one. And it just went from there. I mean, I think that our Discord in our community is a little bit more humble, I think. And you know, we're NFTs are in a right here, right now moment. You know what I mean? You want to immediately mint something and flip it for 4 or 5x in a couple hours, if not a day or two. If not, it's over with. It's just disregarded. I think that's the world that we live in right now. You know what I mean? Whereas us, we've been there. We're OGs. We're moon gods. We have 10 chapters. We've seen what Micah has delivered to us and gave us already. You know, in February, our collections were worth quite a few dollars, you know, before the market tanked and stuff like that. So I think that, you know, it's going to take us just a little bit longer. But the core of people and the team that we have and the friendships that we're making on the way, whether there is a floor price or not, these friendships that we're all making are going to last forever. And I think that's what's going to push us over the edge in the end, is how strong and our strength and numbers are and everything that we have going on with our sponsors and, you know, with everything that we do together. I think, you know, we'll eventually win this race.
I couldn't agree more. Would you consider yourself more a chapter guy or more of an Akutar guy? And once you make that choice, what is your favorite chapter? What is your favorite Akutar that you currently hold?
Chapter 1 is definitely my favorite. It just hits different. You know what I mean? There's not really anything like it. I mean, chapter 10 is pretty sick though, but that's like the beginning and the end, exactly, you know, how it says. And my favorite Akutar obviously is the pizza trait. There's no there's no other trait that I would it just fits my genre so well. You know what I mean?
Does your Mega have a pizza on it?
No, I have a Mars Mega, I believe. Yeah, I have a Mars Mega with gold chains and kind of the helmet like he just came home from war. It's got the half red blood look and the half ice look on it.
Oh, nice. So let me ask you, in terms of like the Mega IP, and you know that's a hot button topic right now, and we're still kind of figuring out what that all means. I don't think that Megas have pizza on them. But how is there any, have you given that any thought as to using your IP rights for your Mega for any of your other ventures?
I have not. I have been sitting back and watching to see what everybody else is going to do. I have explored some other people's IPs. I think the Born and Hungry location out in LA is pretty interesting. Obviously Arizona Iced Tea is already a very large established company. They have a Bored Ape on the side there. But I mean, it's going to take some time, well thought out and methodical. I mean, I have printing equipment. I could just start putting my Mega on everything I own. You know what I mean? And but I mean, what is that going to do though? That's not going to, that might help me, financially, but I want to do something that is going to, help the Aku brand and the genre of what we're trying to teach here and what, about the possibilities are endless. And I think that's more what it's about. I could go and make 500 coffee cups tomorrow and go put them in every consignment store around. But that's personal. You know what I mean? Like I don't need that. I don't need that. I want to see what other people are going to do, and I want to jump on board and see which direction we're going to go.
In terms of like, working for the community and stuff, what ideas do you think could really kind of help elevate that? I mean, we talk about it in the channels and people are kind of figuring out these ideas. What kind of ideas would you like to see?
I mean, quite honestly, here is the ultimate community play. Have you ever played Crash Bandicoot?
No.
I have.
Okay.
I've played it before.
Of course.
Yes. Let me tell you something. Crash Bandicoot is supposed to be a kid's game, and it only has very few buttons: jump, spin, and like special move. Whoever makes the multiplayer Mega OG version of Crash Bandicoot, where we could all compete against each other, I think that is going to be the ultimate setup right there. Some sort of video game where we could all jump in multiplayer and race against each other, or 3-on-3 basketball, kind of like My League, or something around there. But the Crash Bandicoot aspect of it, maybe like the male version of Dora and Boots, Dora the Explorer, backpack, and she's got the monkey with her, and Aku has that little character in his hand. Do we name that Melvin? I think I'm not sure. Whoever comes out with something like that is gonna really change the game, I think.
I always thought that with only 529 Moon God spots, and then of course even if you added like the Mega Moon Gods, that would be roughly 1,000. I looked at Bored Apes, and I always kind of thought one thing that would be attractive with all the high profile owners is that it's kind of like this what do you call those groups? I'm losing the word. Like a mastermind. But when you only have like 500 and certainly less than 1,000 mastermind, like it'll be sad to see some of the Moon Gods, when prices go to a certain point, you let go. But would other people kind of come in that could afford those prices, and then does that Moon God channel really become like kind of like a mastermind? I think it already is in a sense, and there's definitely been some times where I've been in there and like some of the things that have been being discussed, and just like how you had your alpha groups, with Girl Dad, and we're kind of making decisions and thinking things through. Like I kind of look at the Moon God down the road as like this elite, almost like mastermind.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely some very elite people in the Moon God channel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You don't see them quite often, but when you look at the conversations that they're having and they talk about, it's like, wow, this is way above my pay grade. Why am I even in here? You know what I mean? I got lucky to own all 10 chapters and be here since the beginning. You know what I mean? Because some of the discussions that go on in there are like genius, you know, and it's only a matter of time. Like I said, we're doing it right. We're building we're building a community, and you know, we're all really good friends. You know, there's a lot of profile pics and a lot of discords that, you know, all they're worried about is, you know, making the next sale and this and that. And you know how it is. There's a lot of us that hang out and that do things and that go places and that talk every day. And you know what I mean? I mean, what we're building here is going to be, you know, the next generation of what we're doing. You know what I mean? You know that, LoveOx, you know that too. You've been to all the events, and you know, I've been to a couple events, and I meet up with guys, and you know, I just had Glitch here at my house. He slept in my spare room and ate dinner with my family at my kitchen table. You know, you're not doing this with regular people that you just meet anywhere, let alone somebody in a Discord that you don't know. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying. So this is what we're building here, and this is the family, and you know what's going on, and I believe that, you know, hands down, that we're gonna be it. You know.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I also like kind of where we've reached now. We're in a situation where Micah and team can build without the massive hype cycle of expectation from the NFT folks. Because I've seen several projects just get crushed by expectation and, hey, why aren't we here? Why aren't we there? Where I think now, to your point, everybody has been here. They know what's in store. They know the team is grinding every single day. So I think that's a great kind of a mature phase in this young market for any NFT project.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And when you look at the stuff that team is doing, I mean, we're on times. We're talking with Disney. We're throwing 4-day parties and warehouses that are mind blowing. You know what I mean? And you know, us as the community, we're also doing our part. The minute that we got rid of those people that were in the right here, right now moment is when the team, you know, could focus a little bit more. And they've been steady producing. And I'll tell you what, Roger does an unbelievable job on
Unbelievable
Thursdays.
job.
Fantastic. That dude
so good.
must have took he must have took classes from Clinton, because boy, Clinton's a speaker. Clinton can speak, boy. Roger, he's got it. Boy. He gets on stage and it's like you're just in la la land when you listen to him. You know what I mean?
We recently had
Thursdays now.
I do too. We recently had the Chicago Marathon come on, and I watched it on TV because I love watching people that are really good at what they do. And I compare Roger to that. It's just like this guy is a maestro at what he's doing right now.
You know who Roger is? He's the Al Michaels of CBS Sports,
he is,
right?
Absolutely.
Al Michaels, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's Roger Michaels.
So I have a quick question for you. So one thing that I struggle to do is I have people that say, "Hey, you have this. Who is Aku? Like, I don't understand what this is. Like, can you explain it to me? Can you break it down in a way that a layman who's never heard of Aku, what is your pitch when somebody asks you what exactly is Aku?"
I mean, I've tried to onboard many people, but you know, nobody seems to be in the believe NFT phase. But when I try to explain to them what Aku is, I tell them that it's you know, this little boy that wanted to know if astronauts could be black, and you know, he got explained to him that impossible is nothing. You know what I mean? And I try to teach this to my kid as she's growing up now. She'll be a 2nd-degree child's black belt in December. Wow. She is a machine. She's been in Taekwondo for 7 years now. She started at 4. Wow. And she has that exact same mentality. You know what I mean? Impossible is nothing, Riley. You want to be a black belt? You want to cheer? You want to dance? You want to do this? You want to do that? Look at Aku. He wants to be an astronaut. He will become one, because when you set your mind to it, you could do anything you want, and there is no limits and no boundaries.
I think the story, it's just getting people to to kind of grasp the story. The hard barrier, I think, is just the NFT and the crypto, and I mean, there's still so many people that when you just say NFT, what is that? And then you're like, non-fungible token. what is that?
Exactly.
And then even explaining like a non-fungible token to someone, the easiest thing I've found is like I compare it to Ready Player One, and because enough people have at least seen that, but they're not like, it's like if they don't believe that that's where we're heading, then I just say, you know what, it's just an art project. Like if you like the art, invest in the art. If not, but it's kind of like if they can't grasp where we're going as far as the future in Ready Player One style, and knowing that this is just one of the first steps, then for me it's just it's like I can't, you can't sell somebody that
It's
um,
it's a very tough sell
mhm,
because if you're just getting into the industry now, I think that there's so much scams going on, and that's deterring a lot of people from jumping in, right?
mhm,
If you don't have a lot of money and you're gonna buy a floor Akutar, and you're using maybe a paycheck that you work hard for every week, and the first thing you do is click a link because you think you're gonna get something, and they rob your whole entire wallet. Not only is that word of mouth gonna destroy it for the next 4 or 5 people, but it's just, you know what I mean? That's what's going on in this phase right now, is that nobody else wants to jump in because they're hearing all the war stories,
mhm.
where us as OGs have been here, for a year or two, and we know what's what. You know what I mean? So that's the difficulty that we're facing right now, is is that bad part of the NFT and the crypto world.
And we've all either come, I mean, I can speak from personal experience where I clicked on the wrong link, and I got fleeced for a lot of ETH, and then
It's
there's definitely been the close calls, where you open up your phone and you get like a direct message in Discord, but it looks just like it's coming from one of the channels, and it's like, oh man, like I can mint
yeah.
they're minting Bored Apes today for $50.
Yeah, yeah, and on Twitter too. Let me tell you something. On Instagram, I was in I got hit on Instagram with the 3D Aku tires new coming out now. Don't miss it. I jump in chat and I say this is an absolute scam because I own the entire collection and nobody's minting anything.
Hmm.
And about 10 minutes later, they tag me again. I'm like,
Yeah.
gee, you guys are relentless, and I think that's going to hold us back for a little while until that security aspect of it. It's going to be very hard to onboard new people. All my best friends that I went to high school with and grew up with, I'm like, you guys are missing out. Open a wallet, invest a little bit. Let me do this and that for you. I don't know. I'm like, look at my collection. Look at what I'm doing. I got pictures with Pusher T. I talked to Alila May. Micah Johnson's a baseball player. What are you guys doing? What is it? Ethereum? You know what I mean? It's just so hard to get people to understand, but it is what it is, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, hopefully they're investing by eating pizza at your place and investing in you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody's hitting me up every day, believe me.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we're kind of winding down here. We always have my final two questions. I got my one off the wall, and then my second will be revealed. My last question is going to be pizza. I'm gonna defer to you on this, but so you're obviously probably going to say your pizza is the best. So my question is, what style makes for the best pizza? The New York, the Chicago, but I'm also going to throw in Detroit because I went to a Detroit pizza style place, and that's actually kind of my favorite. So what style is, and you can throw in a something other than Chicago or New York or Detroit. What's the ultimate style for pizza?
Oh, I don't know. I think just a regular crust. I eat something called an old Italian sauce pizza.
Hmm.
An old Italian sauce pizza is just heavy sauce with heavy Romano cheese and like pepperoni or sausage. There's no mozzarella on it. There's no toppings or no ingredients. This is what we used to eat in high school. I'm 46 now, so 10, 11, 12. The Ballesteros Bakery had it, and it's just a regular dough. Not New York style, not too deep dish, just a regular dough with nothing but heavy sauce and Romano cheese, the old Italian sauce. That's like by far that should be the only pizza I think on earth.
My favorite is what I call it soup pizza. Like I want tons of sauce. Like give me tons of sauce.
You got to try the old Italian sauce there. That's all it is sauce. There's nothing else on it. It's just sauce and Romano. That's it. Yeah.
And so my other question is this the year for your Buffalo Bills?
Oh man, you already know. I mean, we came into the season as favorites to win the Super Bowl, and I tell you, we're not even healthy. We don't even have our defense back. I think Trey White just practiced today. He's back on the practice field. He's going to be back in a couple of weeks, and we're hands down probably got to be close to the odds-on favorite of taking it all.
Is there any still feeling that from the 90s, from the Jim Kelly era, like is that still kind of like that chip on the shoulder in the city?
No. The home opener, Marv Levy, the 96-year-old coach that went to 4 Super Bowls, he did what's called lead the charge. And he walked out with the flag, and I mean, the guy next to me was crying. I was like, "Yeah, baby, I feel you." You know what I mean? Marv Levy, 96 years old, he's walking out with the flag. Like Buffalo is pretty unique when it comes to the Bills Mafia and football, dude. We are like, you look over, there's a grown man crying because Marv Levy's walking out with the flag. That's how it is over here, man. We're so passionate. I'll tell you though, we're quick to donate to a foundation of yours though. If anything happens, you know what I mean. We got a great fan group.
How do you win a Super Bowl though if you can't beat the Chiefs? Out of curiosity.
Yeah, that's what we got to shake. I think this year is our year, definitely. That game last year, man. I'll tell you, I had a pretty big sports bet. And I cashed it out. And then when they tied it up, I was like, oh, my God, I'm sick. I should have just let it ride. And we lost in overtime. So I did the right thing. But I think, man, I think this is our year. I think that we're firing on all cylinders. That addition of Von Miller, really is going to help it out a little bit. That veteran leadership, 2-time Super Bowl champion already. And I think if any of a year, it's this year.
I do think your team is amazing. If I was being critical, though, I wonder when the postseason comes, the weather's bad, and you have no run game, how that's going to work out. That would be my only critique of your team.
Yeah, well, the trade deadlines is coming. Don't worry. I see some emails floating around of running backs that we're talking to. So it's cooking. We're cooking.
I love it. One thing I love about these calls is just the diverse backgrounds of everybody we've talked to thus far. And I sincerely want to thank you for your time because it's just been fantastic for me personally.
I absolutely love this too. I can't wait to listen to everybody's. And like I said, I've met a lot of these people too already. You know what I mean? Like all these friendships I've made, and I know so many people. But just hearing new people and putting the name to their face or just their voice, it's unbelievable. I love this. This is like one of the best things ever.
So our last exiting question is always, who do you want to have to see on the podcast? And the only caveat is you have to help us get them on.
Oh, I mean, if I wanted anybody on there, it has to be Glitch, man. I mean, he must have unbelievable stories. The dude's a flight attendant. He's like in every city every week going to visit somebody. You know what I mean? He's like, every time you talk to him, he's like, yeah, I'll be out there in Detroit. Yeah, I'm over in Chicago. Yeah, I'll be in LA. I'm in Missouri. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we've got some pretty good stories too that me and him, we've hung out and did a couple things. We've hung out and did a couple things.
That's one of the most boring best times ever was us three hanging out chasing QR codes at Aki World trying to get a free NFT. Felt like I was like 10 years old again. You know,
I had to stand next to your backpack for like an hour. I couldn't move to charge my phone, but we got it done. You know what I mean? We got it done.
that's what works. That's what it's all about. Well,
Yeah,
Lovox, you got
definitely.
any closing remarks, or?
No, I think I'm all closed out.
Well,
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me.
absolutely. So that's one more episode in the books. The Moon God Pod. Want to thank Lovox as always for being my right hand man. Scintow, thank you so much for being on today.
Scintow, there it is. Thank you. I appreciate it. No problem at all.
So don't forget to do all the good things, the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. We're available on all podcasts and certainly YouTube. Definitely been a good ride so far. Love, chatting with all the fellow moon gods and putting the names to the faces to the voices. So keep tuning in, give us some love, and we'll keep putting out the content for you guys. For Lovox, Scintow, I'm JWoww. We'll see you next time.